All right, now that the dust has settled after the amazing celebration of San Diego Comic-Con 2025, it is time to dissect the information, the highlights for statue and for toy collectors. But before we get into the highlights, I want to thank first and foremost Jeff from the Secret Sanctuary. He allowed me to take some clips from his videos. He does a phenomenal covering of the event every year. I also want to thank Dan from Pixel Dan, an amazing toy collector for many years, a legend in this hobby, and I'm going to take some of those clips for reference here in this video. So let's start with action figures. Let's start with the smaller scale. And first, for one of the most important companies, perhaps, or the most important at this moment for toy collectors, which is Hasbro. I love Marvel Legends. You know, it's the quintessential toy to have in your collection, and they do not disappoint. Particularly X-Men 97. Finally, we see Wave 3 that was announced, and they have a Cable, a Jubilee, a Morpho that are coming in this wave. Other figures as well. And X-Men 97 looking amazing, in my opinion. The figures are great. They are already on pre-order, particularly that Cable. I'm telling you, you should get that Cable before it sells out. But also, we also looking at the Gamerverse, for example. And I'm telling you, I've been chasing this Gamerverse, particularly that Psylocke and Thanos 2-pack that it's supposed to be in Target. I've been going to Target almost every day trying to chase it, trying to find it, and I haven't found it, which is something that I'm not necessarily a fan of. I wish Hasbro stopped doing business with Target through this special exclusive deals that they do with Walmart as well, because it's always hard, particularly you live in an area where your Targets never carry stuff, then you're out of luck, and it's only a Target nearby. The next one is on the next town, and I don't go that way. And I don't even have a GameStop in this area. The GameStop just closed this last year, and the Walmarts never carry stuff. So it's always hard unless I travel, which I do often. When I travel, I stop by in places, but sometimes I don't get the opportunity. Also, one of the biggest reveals was Mephisto. That Mephisto, it looks amazing. It comes with all the packagings. It's an improvement of the one that they were trying to do and they couldn't produce before. And it just looks amazing. When you look at the next franchise, in my opinion, is G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe always delivers. They have so many new figures. But I think the best thing for me in the presentation is to see, of course, the Snowcat from from HasLab, which right now is still on HasLab. So don't miss on that if you want to pre-order it, because it looks amazing. But I think in person looks even more phenomenal on the videos that I saw. It looks just great. It's huge, but it looks so fantastic. And in comparison to people standing there, you can see what all the accessories. I think, you know, G.I. Joe, they're doing amazing work. Now, the next thing, in my opinion, with Hasbro then is Ghostbusters. They have, of course, the con exclusive, the Ecto Glow 4-pack, the real Ghostbusters figures. Not necessarily a big fan, of course. It's a highly desirable piece because the originals are hard to come by. They're so hard to come by. They're very expensive in the aftermarket. Actually, I like the Ecto one. That is not based on anything, on any toy. It's pretty much they use the inspiration of the toys, because there was never one Ecto one based on that particular line. And it looks really good. Actually, it looks better than the original Ecto one. And I have two of them, you know, the reissues. I don't know if I want to get a third one, but the variant looks really good. And I think that's on pre-order, and it's going on pre-order soon too, or it's going on pre-order. I'm not completely sure. But what really blew my mind was the HasLab Ecto. They have two different versions there. Of course, they got the Ecto 1A from the second film. Of course, Ecto 1. You can change the parts with all the different figures. I pre-ordered that last year, so I'm waiting this year to receive it, and I'm looking forward to it. I kind of regret not getting two. I should have gotten two instead of one. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I have to get another one, but I got the deluxe version with all the different interchangeable parts. But I would say the one for the second film with all the light-ups looks amazing. Another company that we can say that did a fantastic job is the Loyal Subjects. I think they were in partnership also with Hasbro in the presentation, and they were there too, but they also brought their own toys. But I'm blown away by Mask. I think Mask, I'm super stoked for it. They reveal the next wave. We all see some reveals here and there that looks fantastic. But I already pre-ordered my set, my first wave, and I'm looking forward to see them in person. That is how you do retro toys. And I think if they continue doing this, they have definitely a gold mine in their hands. A lot of people are happy, but we have to see the final product and hopefully delivers on the promise. Now, NECA is another company that always delivers no matter what. And of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they have it down packed. They have everything down packed. Of course, they have Mirage figures, always. They have new Mirage figures. They really explore the Mirage stuff. They keep bringing more of those obscure characters or obscure outfits from that era, from the comics, which is amazing in my opinion. Or also, they continue to explore Archie comics with amazing figures. Definitely NECA knows how to deliver Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And also, they had the Stan Sakai figures, which were a highlight at Toy Fair not long ago. But they still preparing it for release. I don't know when they're going to release, but I'm definitely going to get those. I'm still looking for PandaCan. I never saw it at Target. Never saw it. And hopefully I can get it at some point. But I'm looking forward to Stan Sakai stuff. And again, another reveal people love is the 2012 series, which now they're carrying. They have a full display there. I'm not necessarily a fan of the 2012 series. So it's not something that I like, but definitely a lot of people are going to be excited for it. The Last Ronin stuff, they have more Last Ronin. They've been milking this. One other thing they have within the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they got Garfello and Odie. So it was a crossover between Garfield, of course, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it looks great. I don't even need something like that in that collection. It's not needed, but just because it's so cool and I love Garfield, I'm definitely gonna grab it at some point. But also, you know, they got other things like Sesame Street, which is a line that is doing really well and it looks amazing. The body type they use for all these figures look amazing. They're great on display. It's just starting really, but they're already going for the next wave and it looks really, really neat. Also, they announced the Monsters, and I'm a big fan of the Monsters TV show. Grew up as a kid watching it, so I'm looking forward to that. They look amazing. Another company that is a smaller company, but it's been growing is Nacelle Toys. I love what Nacelle does. I'm telling you, I've been looking for the biker mice for a long time. I was in California last year. I saw them everywhere, and every Walmart I stopped by, and I didn't have an opportunity to grab any. And I was thinking, I'll find it at home. If they have it here, they have it at home. I've never seen one since I left California, came here. I haven't seen them in my store. I've never seen those figures in my store. They are now showcasing the next wave. They have wave number 2, which looks amazing, by the way. They keep adding, growing this collection. I think that still has a bright future. They're doing a lot of different things. A lot of figures, Star Trek figures. There's so many different licenses they're doing, and I think they know what they're doing. In my opinion, if they continue as they go with the stuff they're producing, we will see a bright future for them as a company. Jada Toys is having a fantastic year. Last year was fantastic for Jada. Of course, the Mega Man collection looks more complete, has been growing. They have so many figures on that line. They just look amazing. You also have a Street Fighter collection, which continues to grow. They have more releases, more figures coming. Jada is just in a different level. And believe me, I will tell you, if I have to choose between Jada and Storm Collectibles, I go for Storm Collectibles because I found that they have more stuff. But for the price point, for what they're representing, for how poseable they are, how affordable they are, how good they look and on display, then there's no contest. It's a great option for a lot of people. If you don't want to spend top dollar for figures and wait forever for it to come and have a hard time finding them, these are great. Also, the Scooby-Doo collection, that is really looking very, very neat. I like the stuff they're doing with that. And I hope Jada continues to grow and continue to expand, because definitely they have a vision. They're excited. People are excited. Collectors are excited. And I really like what they're doing as a company. Mattel is a company that for me was my childhood. I love a lot of the stuff Mattel did when I was growing up. And they got one of the biggest reveals of the showcase is the Masters of the Universe, the 2000 series. The figures that they're announcing look amazing. Better than Origins, in my opinion. It's a fantastic era that deserves a lot of love. A lot of people started collecting action figures and Motu figures during that era. That's when we also got the MATTEL collector stuff during that era. All that started because of that. The Horsemen started doing the stuff. So it's amazing to see that again, the figures. Also, we saw Mattel Creations and Mostman, a very new figure, huge figure, looks amazing in the packaging. Another thing that was a highlight for me is an Amazon exclusive, a new Castle of Grayskull. And this Castle of Grayskull looks, I'm telling you, the colors they chose for this are just perfect. It's more based on the art, and that it looks amazing. It has more add-ons, more stuff that is coming with it. I already have one that I purchased. I still in the box. I never really took it out of the box. I had a lot of stuff in the box, but I'm really looking, I'm thinking I'm gonna get this one because it looks, I love the color. I think this is the ultimate version of the Castle of Grayskull. Also, they announced an updated snake layer. That's the one that last year got a lot of hate because, you know, I don't think they even weren't able to produce it because people didn't like what they were showcasing. They said that they will go back to the drawing board. So they updated it. I think people are more happy with this. It's more toy accurate. There's more stuff that is added there. I feel that it's the better package. And that's what people were looking for. I think it looks great. The price point is going to be around 300 or so. I think it's fair for what they're asking for here on this. You know, some people might disagree. Perhaps the company that, in my opinion, did the most, the company that, in my opinion, was at the top of the food chain with action figures, the company that really killed it. I'm not saying that other companies didn't, but this company did it better than everyone else. It's MONDO. MONDO Tees has a fantastic year. They've been killing it, and I think this year can be their year. It's already kind of there. There's not much competition. Companies are competing, but I don't think they're at the same level. They also have their own reveal of Masters of the Universe 2000 series, and this figures is more in line with the stuff that was done by the Horsemen, by, of course, Matty Collector. It's just the way it's perfect. A little bigger in scale. They're more like 7 inches tall, a little taller than 7 inches. But they blew my mind. They had a whole set of different pieces. Some are huge. They all have different sizes and scales, but within the same scale of figures. They look amazing. Also on the 1/6 scale, there's a new reveal of a new She-Ra. This She-Ra looks amazing. You know, with her mount, with everything. This is the ultimate version of She-Ra. It has a lot of different accessories. It's gonna be a huge pack. More than likely it's gonna be expensive, but that looks also amazing. Also, they revealed Triclops. Triclops is coming soon. I'm a big fan of Triclops. My favorite character. That was my favorite toy, and I'm really looking forward to that Triclops. Also, we have a new reveal for Thundercats. There's a Chitara. They continue to grow. The Munra that they revealed recently, that was very recently, looks amazing for sure. I like it more than line of. I think this line has a lot of potential. They're doing amazing work. Of course, on the Marvel animated series, you have the stuff for the X-Men, the Savage Land Rogue, which she was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Looks amazing. The display looks amazing for sure. Storm was revealed there. Has switch out portraits. They look amazing. Mr. Sinister looks phenomenal. They are doing an amazing job with Mr. Sinister there. Also, we got the reveals of Beast coming very, very soon. Also, for the Spider-Man animated series, they have the Lizard. Also, they got Doctor Doom coming very soon. So, man, they're killing it. They're growing that series with the figures they have. Now, when you look at DC animated series, I think the biggest reveal is Superman. Superman looks amazing. Looks great. Also, it's gonna come with some multiple parts. Even a Lois Lane is gonna be an accessory. So it's telling you how much they are really loving this, and they're going crazy with this stuff. We saw the Two-Face prototype, looks amazing with the crazy jacket. Also, switch out torso. That looks really neat. Batgirl also was announced. One thing that was announced that, in my opinion, was a great highlight is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1/6 scale. We saw the prototype of Donatello. This was designed by the Kucharik brothers. It looks amazing. Of course, it's a modern take from MONDO. They Mondonized it, you call it that, this version, but that is the way you're supposed to do it, in my opinion. That is the way you do it. It looks really, really neat. And also, they announced the Shredder, which is coming very soon. So definitely MONDO really killed it with this release, with this reveal, and it's just great to see that. Now, of course, we know the real Ghostbusters. They have the whole set of, and also they announced a Janine that is coming very, very soon to be added. It comes with so many accessories, even with her desk where she can sit. I'm kicking myself for not pre-ordering this collection. I still find it very expensive. Don't get me wrong. I still think that $200 for those figures, because they're 112, still too much to ask. But just the thought of having those figures, because in this case, the real Ghostbusters cartoon was my favorite cartoon during that time. I don't know. I just kick myself for not doing it. I might just have to bite the bullet and do something in order to try to get them somewhere. Another thing that they revealed that I think is great, it's MONDO Squats. MONDO Squats is their new line that they are coming up with, where they're actually building these bundles or packages with a lot of mini figures. I think they this limited articulation but they do have articulation. And the ones that they have, for example, they have Rocco. If you really grew up with this animated series, then they have that. My favorite was Beavis and Butthead, because that's pretty much my time in the 90s. I used to love that, Beavis and Butthead. They had King of the Hill. They have the Goofy movie that was also teased, and we also have Ivy and Harley from the most recent animated series. So they have all this different, so many other things that they have, but this squads, it's technically you get in this bundle with all these figures and you can have a display. And definitely they're trying to go after not the hardcore collector, but the fan that also wants to have something that represents, you know, memorabilia of some of their favorite shows. Let's talk about statues. If you're a statue collector, then definitely there were a lot of great reveals. Again, Sideshow wasn't there, but the companies that show up, they did an amazing job. The first company I want to cover here, Iron Studios. Iron Studios, this company comes all the way from Brazil, but when they come, they definitely know how to party, and they party hard. They know how to entice people with what they have. Of course, right now we have, of course, the Fantastic Four film. Galactus they have there looks great. Of course, based on the film, you can still display with other 110 pieces. It does have a tiny little figures of the Fantastic Four. Looks amazing, great display, pretty good size. You can even display with quarter scale. It's still gonna look fine. It's just a great rendition for those who are looking for a Galactus. Also, the Fantastic Four in 110, they look great. They also have figures, 110 scale statues for the Jurassic World Rebirth. I haven't watched that film. I've been looking forward to watch it. They got Gremlins figures, which looks amazing. They had also alien stuff. They have the Predator stuff, which is great. They have an Optimus Prime, which looks really neat. Optimus Prime looked really neat in there. That's something that it wasn't expected for me, but definitely they're going into the Transformers route. They also have a lot displayed with a lot of Disney stuff. I think the thing that caught my attention was Lilo and Stitch. My daughter is a big fan of Lilo and Stitch, you know, and hey, why not? I like the little stuff. Another thing that was a highlight for me that wasn't expected, and I don't think I've seen before until now, which was the Spider-Man and Mary Jane diorama. It looks great. I think it's more like a 1/5 scale. It is really, really neat. I would say that the one from Sideshow, based on the art of J. Scott Campbell, is still my favorite. But I think this is a great rendition of this, you know, this couple. It looked great, and I think it's great when I see Iron Studios really doing what they do. And they do a lot of different things. Of course, they are the kings of 110. But when they do other scales, they also do amazing work. Now, another things that were highlights for me, I'm going to mention something, is Rebellion. Rebellion, of course, this European British company, they publish Judge Dredd. And they have this quarter scale statue that is on pre-order and is going to go out of pre-order very soon. So stay tuned for that. That statue quarter scale with all the multi parts that comes, those switchable parts, the price is around $700, $800 or so. It's not that bad for a quarter scale. That looks amazing, and it's based on the art of Jock. And I'm telling you, that looks really, really neat. It was a highlight for me. They only have it there in the presentation. I don't think they have anything else, but that alone was pretty much a showstopper. I think it's a fantastic piece. Now, another company, another European company, and this is an Italian company, Infinite Statue. We have talked about Infinite Statue here in the channel. They do all sort of things. They do amazing work, but this is the first statue where they go into a quarter scale. This Frankenstein, based on the art of Lee Bermejo, looks amazing. It's a modern rendition. I saw some pictures where people were complaining about the color of the skin. It didn't look so good, but in video, of course, you know, you have this big lights in the presentation right there in the convention center, but still, it looked really neat. I like it. I think it's a good take if you're into monster stuff, if you like something more, a more modern rendition of Frankenstein. This is definitely a good one. I think it's good, and it's a start for a company that has done really well with the 1/6 scale stuff, but now they want to try something new, and I think this could be a start for going into quarter scale, which is always has more demand than 1/6 for sure. You know, there's a bigger audience out there for quarter scale. Another one that was great, and a lot of people, it was a showstopper and was at the Mighty Jack's booth, is the SuperKraft Laboratory, the Morgan 1/3 scale Temptress of Desire. This piece, of course, this company, when you're talking about SuperKraft Laboratory, is another studio that has been collaborating. Technically, I don't know if it's an offshoot of Mighty Jack's. Mighty Jack's owns a lot of different other companies, They also are the ones who took over some other, I think they took over sort of over Connecticut's as well. So they own a lot of different brands. And I think this company, this studio has been doing amazing work. We saw that amazing diorama. The first stuff that they did was an amazing diorama bus of Optimus Prime, and this is of course based on the movie, and it was amazing. That was the first piece that they released. The second piece is this Batman with the child, you know, the Bruce Wayne. It's just an amazing piece for sure. This is the third piece, and I think it's very artsy. It does have different variants with different parts and colors, and you know, you can take this or take out. It looks great. I think it's a showstopper. Morrigan is a popular character. It sells a lot. You know, there's so many Morrigans out there. So honestly, you can never go wrong. It seems like she sells regardless, and there's been so many. And this is a good one, definitely. I like it. I think I prefer others in the portraits of others, but this is a great rendition of Morrigan, also with Lilith, and it looks great. If you're a fan of Darkstalkers, you're a fan of the character, then why not look into it? It's expensive, but definitely this company is doing amazing work for sure. Now, another company, to me, it was really up there. Company that really brought the house down in a lot of ways. For me, the company that perhaps has the most attention here will be PCS. The Disney stuff looks amazing. I was looking at it in the videos, of course, from Jeff, and they're amazing. Of course, Peter Pan, Captain Hook, they look great. And this kind of brought me back to when Sideshow was doing these pieces, you know, many years ago. That Captain Hook they did look, which is amazing. But I think, of course, this surpasses that. It's better now. Quarter scale, of course, we have more modern, you know, things. The art is better, all of that. I think it's a fantastic rendition. They also have the evil Queen from Snow White and Snow White too, and they just look great. They have in full display all the gargoyles in there. They look amazing in person. They look better than in the picture. So that was, to me, a nice highlight. And of course, when you're looking now, moving into Disney license, but now into the Marvel world, of course, they got the display of all the 110 stuff that they've been doing, the Marvel versus Capcom stuff, but the Marvel stuff, it just looks great, all the 10. And I had the opportunity recently, while I was traveling, I stopped in some place in, I think in Kentucky, Florence, Kentucky. I stopped in one of the stores over there, very popular comic book store. And when I stopped there, I saw they have a lot of these figures on display, a lot of the PCS stuff from that, and they look great at 110. The base is simple, but they look fantastic. But also on the Gamerverse stuff, when you're looking at the 1/3 stuff, they had a Wolverine. The Wolverine that we have seen before looks still good. They also have a Silver Surfer based on the Planet Hulk series. Looks amazing. The plated, you know, the metallic plated stuff that they use there looks really neat. Looks perfect. It looks fantastic. But the highlight for me was the Punisher. Of course, all this has the Punisher's already on pre-order, but seeing it in person, it really is a chef's kiss. It is really a nice piece in person. It looks fantastic. 1/3 perfect. Everything they did with this piece, it comes with switch out parts, really look amazing. I was really blown away by it. Also, they got the premium fine art bus line that they've been doing. You know, it has grown on me. I'm not necessarily a big fan of some of them, but they're growing on me. I think, you know, we saw the Planet Hulk, which looks great. It doesn't look bad. I like it. But I think what I really caught my attention was the Deadpool one. The Deadpool is very interesting. All the little pieces that they added, I think that's perhaps my favorite. But also the Darth Vader one, that I wasn't crazy at first, but now when you see it in person all light up, it's impressive. There's so much artistry in this, and it grows on you. It's like a unique piece, a standalone piece, a center stage piece that definitely enhances your collection. You know, it becomes the focal point of everything. When you look at the half scale, they had a Leonardo based on, of course, on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie half scale. Looks fantastic. They also have the Shredder props, the mask, his claws, all of that. It looks really neat. But also, you saw Chun-Li. We saw a Chun-Li. They have two different versions of Chun-Li, the classic Chun-Li and the more modern Chun-Li and half scale. Looks fantastic. Half scale, of course, the pedigree of PCS over the years about just portraying and bringing and doing amazing stuff with Street Fighter continues on. They're doing it now in half scale. And also they got a Vampirella. on half scale looks amazing, amazing sculpt. The portrait, I would say I wasn't like blown away by the portrait. I've seen better portraits for Vampirella, but the piece as a whole, everything as a whole, it's amazing. Now looking at 1/3, also they have the RoboCop stuff. They have the RoboCop from the first film, from the second film, the ED209. It just looks amazing. So 1/3, that thing is huge. It's a monster display. And they look great. So definitely they were killing it on that. And one of the highlights for me on this display is the Conan water scale piece. This Conan has grown on me. Of course, they have the display with the one with the girl, but you can change it to the axe. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece. In my opinion, it's better, surpasses anything that even Sideshow did in the past. That Sideshow Conan that was done in the past, also with the girl, that looks amazing. But this one, in my opinion, is way better. The art is better. It just looks neat. It's a beautiful piece for sure. It's gory, but this is Conan, as you know Conan is, so it's great in my opinion. Other things they have, of course, all the Capcom pieces, all the Street Fighter 1/10 scale pieces. They had a whole display. It looks amazing. Those pieces look amazing. They continue to build that, but the center of everything in their showroom was the Devastator, which in person it's impressive. That Devastator piece is huge. What piece that was. Once you have that in your display, I don't think you have space for anything else. But if you are a big hardcore Transformers fan, then you're gonna look at the Devastator and you're gonna say, this is it. This is the end of it all in my collection. It looks phenomenal. It's huge, of course, but it's an amazing, amazing piece. But now, the company that, in my opinion, there were other companies that I don't want to skip. You know, there were great companies, but the company that, in my opinion, was the highlight, the best of the best for me, was Weta Workshop. Even though Weta did not bring as much as PCS. PCS, I think, has more volume, more stuff, amazing looking stuff. Some stuff we already knew it was coming. Now we can see it in person. We weren't surprised about it. But Weta, even though they brought all this stuff, of course, Warhammer 40K, they bring this up for Lord of the Rings, from whatever they have so many other licenses, and they have a lot of different things, different scales, different miniature stuff, all of that, different, all of it, you know, whatever you can think of, they have. But what really caught my attention were two pieces, in my opinion, were the highlights and the pieces that I pretty much fell in love in the entire show. And I would say the first one is the Lara Croft Quest for Avalon. This one looks great, of course, with the sharks. This is a variation of the one that where she was surrounded by those velociraptors, but this one looks amazing in the water. It just a perfect. I think it's based on Underworld too, in the art of Underworld, but looks amazing. You can say that the portrait may not be, some people were pointing out that it's not really based on the art or the poster or whatever, or even in the video game, it's more of a take that they have. But even as a take, it's a beautiful representation of Lara. It looks really, 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 really good. I really enjoy that. To me, that's one of the best pieces in the whole event. But the one that was above it, in my opinion, and I know I will have maybe some flack for saying this, which I think is great. A lot of people are not, and I've seen a lot of people making comments, is the Masters Collection, the Fellowship of the Ring. That piece, seeing it in the video, looks amazing. Some people were complaining about the likeness in some of the pieces, some of the figures. And you know, one thing I would say about Weta, the problem is not the likeness on the prototypes, the problem is in the end result. But if the pieces manage to get like that, as they show in the prototype, then there's nothing to fear. It's a huge piece. They're going into this stair thing, and they're going up, and you have all the members of the Fellowship of the Ring, and they all. It's just a beautiful piece for whatever angle. And of course, the Master Collection, in my opinion, has always been amazing. I've seen so many amazing pieces. Every time there's something, I'm thinking, how can they blow this out of the water? And the next piece does it, or the next piece does it. And I think this one does it. This one blows the others in the past out of the water. Of course, people will dissent with that opinion. I think it's great. You will need a very tall display. It's a very tall piece, but it looks amazing. And in my opinion, yeah, minus certain things here and there. Let's remember there's a 1/6, so there's some sacrifices when you scale, when you reduce the scale of something. Of course, you lose some of the detail. It's not going to be the look. It's not going to be 100%. You're not talking about silicone pieces or so. But in any case, I think it looks great, and it's amazing to see a company that after all these years continues to thrive by being good at one thing. You know, in this case, the Lord of the Rings. That's what they do, and they do great. Of course, our Prime Studio also does amazing stuff in a larger scale, but regardless of what Prime does, when it comes about the bulk, about everything that they have done, about the career, about the longevity of a company doing and producing and creating so many different lines based on one franchise or one license, there's no doubt Weta is there. It's the company that is the top of the food chain when it comes about producing stuff for Lord of the Rings. I don't want to forget Hollywood Collectibles. Also, you got ECC, Kotobukiya. They still doing the, you know, the Vishoya stuff. You know, it seems like they completely forgot about the fine art statue line. No, but you know, other companies and so on. And there are many other toy companies that I did not have the time to go through because I'll be here filming this for hours. But honestly, it was a fantastic presentation. With everything that was showcased, I think they did an amazing job. But what is your opinion, my friend? What do you think about the stuff we covered? Definitely in this long video, we covered a lot. Which were your highlights, your favorites? Do you agree with me, disagree with me? What do you think was the best of the best in this presentation? Let me know in the comments below. So once again, my friends, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button so you're reminded of the next video. Follow me in social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on Threads. All the links are in the description, and please consider supporting the channel financially through Patreon. My friends, God bless. Take care. I will talk to you again. Bye-bye.